Pro Pilkki means pro ice fishing in Finnish, and that pretty much tells you what this game is all about. But don't let the simple name fool you. Pro Pilkki 2 is way more than just drilling holes and hoping for the best. It's a surprisingly deep and lovingly made game that captures the real-life feeling of ice fishing better than you'd expect. And if that's not enough, it also has one of the most unexpectedly epic menu soundtracks I've ever heard in a video game. In this video, I'll take you through the story behind the game, its mechanics, how it still has an active community after all these years, and what exactly makes it so special. Pro Pilkki 2 is a passion project of two developers from Finland, Mikko Happo and Janne Olkkonen. As the title of the game suggests, Pro Pilkki 2 is not the first of its name. It's an evolution of a lifelong hobby. Mikko took the first steps in the game development world by programming a text-based ice fishing game on the Commodore 64 platform. But the real predecessor for Pro Pilkki 2 was, of course, Pro Pilkki 1. Because both Mikko and Janne were quite passionate fishermen themselves, they decided very early on that catching the fish should not be a random chance, but as in real life, it should depend on your chosen fishing spot and what gear the player would use. But still, the first game looked very primitive, as their platform of choice had several considerable limitations. But as their game received the award of Best Finnish Game of the Month, awarded by a local computer magazine, it soon became clear that to realize all their goals and ambitions, they would need to make a more serious sequel. The game went through many iterations and it took several years, but in 2013 the version 1.0 was released on PC. And 2 years later also came the Pro Pilkki 2 mobile. Currently, the game is available for free on PC from the Microsoft Store and as a paid game on iOS and Android. The game is still being developed and updated, and as of writing the script, the version 2.0.5 has just been released on March 5th, 2025. The game has several single and multiplayer game modes. We'll get back to the multiplayer later on, but for the single player there are options: practice, single game, cup competitions, challenge game, and team captain game. For players just starting out, I would strongly suggest playing through the challenge game mode first, as it includes several tutorial levels that introduce the multiple gameplay layers in a gradual and fun way. When you launch the game, you are dropped at the starting area and can explore the UI. First, there is the game mode and time left. The weather information such as the temperature, wind direction and cloudiness. Next to this is the clock that shows the time of the day. Last informative panel is dynamic and displays the operative information such as the type and weight and count of the caught fish. On the right side is the player control interface, where you can choose between 2 drills, 48 lures, 10 baits and 4 rods, which are your main weapons to find the biggest catch. The green button allows you to raise and lower your rod, which can also be handled by pressing the spacebar. The last 4 options are flashlight, which is used during nighttime fishing, lake map to see where you are located, depth map to understand the situation below ice, and choosing between land view and bird view. You move around by left clicking the ground and drill a hole by pressing the right click. And this is where the real game begins. The gameplay formula is simple on the surface level, but with deep and pretty complex mechanics hiding under the hood. As I mentioned before, the developers themselves are pretty serious fishermen, so they made the main aspect of their fishing game, catching the fish, as close to real life as possible. It's very hard to cheese the game. There are no obvious ways to guarantee results. This is because your catch will depend on a multitude of complex factors, like the season, time of day, fish species found in each lake, the spot you choose to drill on each lake, and lake depth in that place, used lures and baits as well as weather conditions, and even taking all that into account, there still will be times when you feel like there's no fish in the lake at all. As one of the developers said themselves in an interview, that's how it goes in real life. More often than not, especially on new lakes, it feels like fishing from a well. When you are fishing on familiar places, you catch more, but even then, there are also bad fishing days. That being said, much still depends on each fisherman's individual mastery, as other conditions are the same for all players within a single game. There are in total 32 species of fish and 44 lakes in the game. Each lake houses a different mix of fish, and the player has to adjust their strategy accordingly. To stir this up even more, there are many different types of competitions, ranging from a normal game, where the total weight of caught fish defines the winner, quantity, where the total number of fish is more important, and all the way to more specialized modes like biggest fish, most species, or only white fish. Strategy will also depend on the length of the competition, as they range from 10 minutes up to 2 hours. While fishing, it's important not to only choose the right rod, lure and bait, but the player can also control the rod by swinging it. By using the mouse wheel, it's also possible to change the depth of the submerged lure. Combining all these layers of complexity, the final result is so close to real life that even die-hard real-life fishermen are playing Pro Pilkki 2, and contrary, people with no experience with ice fishing have learned how to do it in real life after learning the principles in Pro Pilkki. Considerable part for a competitive game to be at least somewhat successful is a good implementation of multiplayer. And although this is a game which saw the official 1.0 release more than 10 years ago in 2013, it has a pretty unique and very dedicated player base. The best part about the multiplayer is just how easy it's joined to an online match. You just open the multiplayer tab, hit join a network game, and choose from the plethora of servers. To be honest, this menu reminded me of the good old Counter-Strike 1.6 days, when I would log in to the same server every day after school and get greeted by the same dudes that I knew only by their in-game name and by playing with them every day. I played a few matches on a local Latvian server. My results varied quite a bit. Worst was not catching even a single fish and disqualifying by staying on ice as the match counter ended. And my best match was in a game where only the weight of 3 biggest fishes counted. I managed to snag a decent pike, which was actually the biggest fish caught in this match, but unfortunately it was only good enough to reach the 4th place, as the rest of my catch was not as impressive. But still, it was a surprisingly exhilarating experience. While digging around and searching for info on the game, I also found many online communities dedicated to Pro Pilkki 2, with a very strict and regular match calendar, tourney tables and awards. These people have been playing this game on a daily basis for years, and I find that incredibly cool and wholesome to have these tight niche communities where players from different countries meet each day and do the thing that they enjoy. This game's soundtrack may be one of the main reasons behind me having so very fond memories about it. It's a truly epic piece of instrumental music. It starts with a simple melodic piano theme, which grows slowly with increasing intensity. At first, it's accompanied by only distant guitar swells, and then the full band kicks in with bass, drums, and of course the lead electric guitar. Then the piece proceeds to offer a few minutes of this uninterrupted, truly epic guitar solo that just keeps on giving and giving. Somewhere along the way, also an electric organ joins, and it all culminates in this superb piece that reminds me of bands like Pink Floyd with long emotional instrumental parts. I tried to find any information on the original artist, first by researching online, then also via Shazam and online audio recognition tools. I even reached out to one of the developers on Instagram, but as of writing the script, I still have no information, so if anyone watching has some extra insights on authors of the song or how it found its way into the game's soundtrack, I would really appreciate it if you shared it in the comments. Pro Pilkki 2 is a unique blend of authenticity and fun. It's realistic, yet still very enjoyable. It's approachable by new players, but has quite an insanely high skill ceiling. It can be a relaxing afternoon by yourself on the ice, or it can be an intense online match with your friends or other fishing enthusiasts. I love this game. From the fond memories to the in-depth mechanics and dedicated community, while being made by enthusiast developers and being available for free. It encapsulates many things I cherish in gaming in general and is truly a unique experience. I really encourage anyone watching to try it out. Play through the challenge series, jump in a random online match, host a game night with your friends, whatever format suits you best. And if you made it this far in the video, I truly thank you for your time. Leave a comment if there are other things you like or dislike about Pro Pilkki 2, or if you would like to see more content in similar fashion. Stay safe, bye for now.